A group is trying to solve a problem, and everyone starts talking at once. One person stays quiet. They close their laptop, study the page, and pause just long enough for someone to wonder, are they even trying? Then they circle the one detail everyone else missed. That pause can look like laziness. The correction can look like luck. Neither proves intelligence, but some people don't rush to defend the first answer that comes to mind. They check what doesn't fit, question what everyone else accepted, and care more about being accurate than appearing certain. These 5 quiet habits are often misunderstood because most of the thinking happens long before anyone else can see it.
A manager asks the group for their opinion. 3 people answer before the page has even loaded. One person stays quiet, studies the numbers, and writes down a question. Their silence is judged almost immediately, confused, passive, maybe unprepared. But their mind may simply be working in a different order. Notice, check, then answer. Research on cognitive reflection examines this kind of pause, the ability to resist the first response long enough to determine whether it actually holds up. In everyday life, that might mean catching the missing assumption everyone else accepted too quickly. The problem is simple. Speed is easier to reward than careful thinking.
Meetings remember the first confident voice. Classrooms notice the fastest raised hand. Online, certainty is often mistaken for evidence, so hesitation can look weaker than a polished answer no one bothered to question. Being quiet is not proof of intelligence, but it is not proof that nothing is happening either. Sometimes the pause is part of the thinking. If people have ever mistaken your processing time for a lack of interest, you probably understand this better than most. But noticing more is only the surface. The more revealing habit is what they do when they are not sure.
2 people are putting together a shelf. The instructions jump from step 6 to step 8. One person keeps building. The other stops and asks where the missing bracket is supposed to connect later. The pause gets labeled immediately, overthinking. But their mind is doing more than just trying to finish the shelf. It is checking where the mistake may have started and whether confidence has moved ahead of the evidence. Psychologists call this metacognition, noticing how your own thinking works while you're still in the middle of using it. Sometimes the person quietly talks through the steps. This kind of private speech helps turn an invisible sequence into something they can hold on to, examine, and correct.
The first answer is not always the best one. Before you commit, check what you might be missing. Search results give instant answers. Group chats reward fast replies. Meetings often treat hesitation like weakness. So saying, "I don't know yet," can make someone sound incapable, even when it is the most accurate answer in the room. They are checking their answer while everyone else is already announcing theirs. But checking has no natural finish line. The same habit that prevents careless mistakes can eventually make every decision feel unfinished.
2 people make the same decision, then receive new information. One updates their conclusion because the evidence changed. The other reopens the decision 3 days later, even though nothing new has happened. From the outside, both can look uncertain. Cognitive flexibility means adjusting your thinking when the situation actually changes. In everyday life, it can sound like, "I was wrong," without treating the correction as a personal failure. Changing your mind because new evidence appeared is flexibility. Changing it because the anxiety came back is something else. That distinction often gets blurred in environments that reward certainty. Workplaces praise people who sound completely confident. Online arguments reward the person who never backs down. So revising your opinion can look like weakness, while replaying the same fear can feel like responsibility. The cost is quieter. Careful thinking can stop serving the decision and start delaying it. You reopen decisions that were already made, search for certainty that doesn't exist, and wait for every possible risk to disappear before moving forward. Deep thinking changes the model. Rumination repeats the fear. These habits do not prove intelligence.
but they can reveal a mind that cares more about being accurate than appearing certain. The useful question is simple. Did the extra thinking show you something new, or did it only delay the decision? Careful thinking has a purpose. Endless thinking only keeps the door open. And that leads to one harder question. Why can someone spot weak evidence in everyone else, yet still struggle to trust their own judgment?